Hello, welcome to Thursday, September 17th video presentation of the daily lesson. Today we're going to be talking about the rhetorical appeals, ethos, pathos, logos. But before we get started, I wanted to give you a reminder that your essay is due tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Don't forget that this is a writing assignment, so it will be for a major grade. So it's important to get it, number one, completed and turned in on time so you can get as many points as possible. And it's important that if you are struggling or need help or unsure of something, to please get in touch with me so that I can give you that quick feedback so that you can continue on writing and doing it the correct way. Writing is such a crucial thing, and I know it's going to be hard doing this remotely, but if you would attend my Google Meets, especially when I'm going over essays, it will be very beneficial to you. I had two Google Meets yesterday, and only two people showed up. So please try to make yourself available at those times, or if you want to just do one-on-one, let me know, and I will see when I can make myself available to you. Okay, so let's go on for today's lesson. So our objective today is we're going to learn to understand the three persuasive appeals, ethos, pathos, logos. We're going to view the slide presentation. We have some video clips to watch and recognize which appeal is being used and identify the different appeals that are being used in some on your worksheet in different situations and scenarios. For your warm-up today, everybody's doing the same warm-up. We're going to go to quizzes to do a little review over linear and nonlinear plots. So you can pause the video right now and go to Google Classroom, go to classwork, find the assignment for week 4 that says the warm-up date for today, and click on the quizzes link to take that quiz. If you have any problems, let me know. Okay, going on with our persuasive appeals. I'm sure you probably talked about these some last year as well. So a rhetorical strategies are also called persuasive appeals. We have these three called ethos, pathos, logos, and they are the art of speaking or writing effectively. Once you know how to identify these and then use them in your own writing, you can be a pretty convincing writer. So, according to Aristotle, over 2,000 years ago, he argued that there were three basic ways to persuade your audience that you were to use: logos, pathos, and ethos. So, to be a better reader and writer, understanding logos, pathos, and ethos will help you to be a more critical reader as you learn when and how you're being influenced. So, it's so important today, just whenever you're in the media, so much news, so much commercials, so much TV shows are trying to influence you. And if you are able to recognize when you're kind of being, those certain appeals are being used to sway you to think, feel, or buy a product, then you can make better choices. Then you can also use it when you write, when you need to influence your readers, your audience. If you learn how to recognize these appeals and include them in your writing, it's just going to make you that much of a better writer. So we're going to do a little scenario here of school uniforms. Okay, so suppose you were in favor in all public schools wearing uniforms. I know you're not. I know you just got out of junior high where you had standardized dress code, so you will be glad to come back to school and not have to wear those standardized colors. I get it. But for today, just so we can practice, we're going to pretend that you were for school uniforms. So in order to convince the school board to instate uniforms, however, you need to know how to persuade them. That's where we're going to use these three appeals. We're going to look at logos first, which is logical arguments. Of course, in our society, logical and rational and rationality are highly valued, and this type of persuasive strategy usually valued over the appeals to the character, which is ethos, or to the emotion, which is pathos. So we want hard facts. We want, prove it to me. If you feel this way and you're passionate about this and you want me to believe you and follow you, then give me the details, give me the facts, show me the data, and I'll be more driven to lean your way. All right, so again, just like I was saying with a logical argument, so what you're going to do, you're going to need to gather that evidence, do research, provide examples, put out that data for your audience in order for you to be convinced. And we'll watch a video in just a second that shows you how commercials will use that to help you buy their products. Um, Logos appeals to facts, statistics, give you strong support for your reasons because nobody can argue facts. You just can't. So here, for example, if you were arguing about the uniforms, for the uniform, a recent survey shows that 61% of all students in the school and 86% of all their parents and guardians are in favor of the uniforms. So that's data that you can't, if it's been taken and it's published out there, you can't argue against that. It's going to help convince your reader. So logical reasoning is also effective because if the audience can agree that your claim makes sense, it becomes difficult for them to argue against it. Because uniforms are inexpensive, parents would save money by purchasing uniforms instead of trendy brand name clothes. Notice we have to show the opposite here to really persuade them as well. So this is a pretty good argument of why you should have standardized dress or uniforms in school. All right, let's watch this Subaru commercial and see what is the logic that they're putting behind their product that you should buy their product.
Over the years, Subaru vehicles have gotten quite a reputation for safety. That's because we go above and beyond to not only protect you in case of a collision, but also to help you avoid having an accident in the first place. That's why we're proud to introduce one of our newest features, High Beam Assist. It's an innovative feature from Subaru that helps you use your high beams as often as possible for maximum visibility without blinding oncoming vehicles. It works by automatically dimming your high beams when it senses oncoming traffic approaching and reactivating them when traffic passes. This helps give you the best night visibility possible while allowing you to keep your hands on the steering wheel. Thanks to High Beam Assist, you'll see better and drive more safely without having to constantly adjust your high beams. This smarter way to enhance night visibility is just one more thing that helps make it safer to drive a Subaru, not just for you, but for everyone on the road. For Subaru, driver visibility has always been a high priority. That's because the better you can see the road in front of you, the safer you can drive. That's why we're thrilled to introduce steering responsive headlights. Steering responsive headlights can help you see better around corners by aiming your headlights toward the direction you're turning, rather than simply pointing straight ahead. That way, you can see farther around the corner, so you can react sooner if something unexpected happens. Better visibility when driving at night is just one more thing that helps make it safer to drive a Subaru.
Okay, so as you can see with this commercial, Subaru is telling you that if you see better, you can drive better and drive more safe. So it's important for you to buy their product, their car, because they have this special feature that seems to be like no other car. So logically, you would want to purchase their vehicle because of this enhanced feature on their vehicles. Pathos. Now, this is our emotional arguments. While most of us think that we make our decisions based on rational thoughts, Aristotle points out that emotions, such as anger, pity, fear, and their opposites, powerfully influence our rational judgment. So we are always, especially teenagers, we are making rash decisions. We are always using our emotions. It's just there. It's just human nature. Sometimes we get overtaken by our pathos. So, emotional appeals attempt to arouse the feelings and instincts or biases of the reader. Common in advertising, very common in advertising. And fundraising letters, emotional appeals often rely on what Herschel Gordon Lewis calls the five great motivators: fear, exclusivity, guilt, greed, and anger. Emotional appeals are generally the most effective when the reader is expected to agree with the argument. So, you ever see those commercials, those Humane Society commercials, and they're showing these animals and their big puppy dog eyes or cute little kitten faces, and the Sarah McLachlan song of "In the Arms of the Angels" or is playing in the background. That is a commercial that's heavily loaded with pathos. It's playing so hard onto your heartstrings, trying to push you to go out there and rescue and save these animals. With pathos, you have what's called a bandwagon appeal. That don't miss it. Don't be the last person to have one appeal, often used by advertisers. If you think of those like late night kind of commercials, like they'll say, "Oh, we only have 100 of these items left, and oh, if you get one, you get the second one free and no shipping." They're giving you those appeals of those playing to those pathos appeals of bandwagon. Don't miss out. You're going to be the last. If you don't have it, you're not cool. Let's look at those school uniform. In this district, all but two schools have voted to require uniforms for their students. So this is where exclusivity is being played out. Oh, well, we're not part of the group of the majority. We're being excluded from the majority if we're not part of that. So there's pointing out that statistic there. Pathos also has what's called testimonials, which use celebrity endorsements to appeal to fans. Famous people who endorse a product or an ideal unrelated to their field of expertise are persuading by their means of their talent, glamour, and fame. So, if we try to bring LeBron James into our argument about uniforms, well, it's not his forte because he is a basketball player, but we could still probably use him as this example shows. LeBron James, NBA MVP, says that wearing a school uniform has such a positive impact on him that he chose a profession that would allow him to continue wearing a uniform daily. So again, a little humor there. But we're using LeBron, which a lot of people, he has a great fan base. And so they might be like, okay, I'm buying it in because LeBron James is in on this as well, or endorses it as well. All right, let's watch this pathos. You can already tell.
It has big windows and lots of light. I don't understand. Did I do something wrong? Are you breaking up with me?
Slow and steady.
As the official sudden fantasticals. Snotty.
I want to back that up just a second. Okay, So as you can see in this commercial, we see the girl with her dog at the very beginning. It almost looks like as if maybe it's the end of his life. Maybe she's at a vet. Maybe she has to put him down, and then she's petting him, and then it's like flashing back, going back, and we see like time start to go down to where she remembers first getting this dog. We see again like as far as time's going down, she's an adult walking her dog. She then is like going back even further to when she um, moved out, then when she graduated, when she moved out, when she was in school with the boyfriend breakup, all the way down to where she's this girl right here. And probably what we may not have been paying attention to is that this same vehicle was in that journey of with her and her life with a dog. So here's that same vehicle the first time she went and got that dog, all the way up to the very beginning or the end where it was the end of the dog's life. So here, a best friend for life's journey. So taking that story of that girl's journey with her dog, and that story is also the car. So that's how they're playing with your emotions. Okay. Car commercials, who knew, right? All right, so ethos, this is our ethical arguments. This is where it's going to have to do about the speaker's character. So Aristotle uses ethos to refer to the speaker's character as it appears to the audience. Aristotle says that if we believe that a speaker has a good moral character and goodwill, we are inclined to believe what speaker has to say. So a lot of us will choose to watch, like, we have like three Houston stations, Channel 2, Channel 11, Channel 13. And sometimes we're drawn more to certain newscasters that we trust and we feel we believe what they say more, or enjoy what they say more. So we're more drawn to those stations to watch. Sometimes it's articles in newspaper we're drawn to because then we know their character based on what we know about their biography, about their life, about what they've written. We choose to follow those people because of their and what they are saying and what information to put out because of their character. So ethical appeals rely on the reader's sense of right or wrong. As Arthur Biddle points out in The Writer to Writer, they depend on the writer's credibility and reputation. As a reliable and qualified, experienced, well informed, and knowledgeable person whose opinions are believable because they are ethically sound. In other words, with ethical appeals, the audience is moved not only by what is said, but it's who is saying it. That's what's key. Who is putting that information out is what's really convincing you. All right, so ethos appeals. The speaker's credibility is an ethos appeal that relies on experience, education, and knowledge. So going back to our school uniforms, look at this quote. It's a quote because it's in quotation marks. So somebody's saying this. Since we adopted uniforms 2 years ago, says Gene Jones, Kennedy High School's principal for the last 12 years, school morale has definitely improved. So we're taking this quote and we're finding it more believable because we're getting it not only from a principal of an entire high school, but somebody who's also been doing it for 12 years. So we feel like we can believe that more than if it was maybe a principal who'd only been a principal for 1 year. Okay, so ethical appeals speak to the reader's ethics or moral values such as honesty, fairness, equality, and good and evil, etc. So here's another one. Many people argue that school uniforms ensure that students of all cultural backgrounds to have an equal opportunity to succeed in higher education. So we're appealing to the equality, the right and fair thing to do. Let's look at this commercial.
Hi, Erin. Hi.
Okay, so I'm gonna just give you some actions to do, and just do the first thing that comes to mind. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl.
Here.
Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl.
Aw. My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
So do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, yeah, insulted girls, but not my sister.
Is like a girl a good thing?
Actually, don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. It sounds like a bad thing. It sounds like you're trying to humiliate someone.
So when they're in that vulnerable time between 10 and 12, how do you think it affects them when somebody uses like a girl as an insult?
I think it definitely drops their self-confidence and really puts them down because during that time, they're already trying to figure themselves out. And when somebody says you hit like a girl, it's like, well, what does that mean? Because they think they're a strong person. It's kind of like telling them that they're weak and they're not as good as them.
And what advice do you have to young girls who are told they run like a girl, kick like a girl, hit like a girl, swing like a girl?
Keep doing it because it's working. If somebody else says that running like a girl or kicking like a girl or shooting like a girl is something that you shouldn't be doing, that's their problem. Because if you're still scoring and you're still getting to the ball on time and you're still being first, you're doing it right. It doesn't matter what they say. I mean, yes, I kick like a girl and I swim like a girl and I walk like a girl and I wake up in the morning like a girl because I am a girl. And that's not something that I should be ashamed of. So I'm going to do it anyway. That's what they should do.
If I asked you to run like a girl now, would you do it differently?
I would run like myself.
Would you like a chance to read it?
Why can't run like a girl also mean win the race?
Okay, so as you can see with that commercial, that they're really appealing with ethos, with equality and fairness for girls. That we have a stereotype that like a girl is a put down, and we want to change it and turn that around. All right, so you probably have seen this Aristotle's rhetorical triangle, where we have when we think about our audience and we want to look at the pathos, we want to how are we appealing to their emotions, their ethos, what credibility are we having, and with logos, what logical arguments and message are we putting out. So let's practice finding some appeals real quick. You'll find these actually on your worksheet. So if you're watching this video, you're actually getting 3 answers. So the Office of Disease Prevention and Health Promotion recommends that people ages 6 to 7 have 60 minutes of physical activity a day. So which is it? Ethos, pathos, or logos? Take a moment and think about it. So who is making this recommendation? Is the Office of Disease Prevention and Health Promotion, which is an organization that we would trust. So we're looking at the ethos being appealed here, because we're putting out like, well, we're making this recommendation for this group, but who's making that recommendation? It's the credibility of that Office of Disease Prevention and Health. Okay, Think of the support from friends as you encourage each other while jogging around a track, or the sense of accomplishment when executing a pass that leads to your teammates scoring basket. So think about what kind of appeal that is. Okay, so if you think of the supporting your friends as you encourage each other, jogging around the track, or a sense of accomplishment. We're appealing with our emotions and how that is a good thing if we're encouraging, and then we're helping them be successful. So we're using pathos there. Okay, and let's look at this last one. To promote exercise among youth, the Department of Health and Human Services started the Presidential Youth Fitness Award. So, what do you think that is? Pause your video and. Okay, so why we would think Ethos, the Department of Health and Human Services, it is a organization that we may have some trust in, so maybe it's a little bit ethos. But the statement says to promote exercise among youth, that they started this Presidential Youth Fitness Award. So we're using a logic here that in order to promote this, they've created this reward that would encourage people to be more active and exercise, especially, of course, focusing on the youth. So this is really a mostly appealing to logos. All right, so what you'll need to do now is go to Google Classroom, click on the Google form, the activity about worksheets, just to practice it. There's only 8 of them, and I just gave you 3. So fill out that form and and then of course make sure you turn it and submit it. Don't forget to work on your essay, which is due tomorrow. And if you have any questions or need help, just let me know. Have a good one.